Welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast, where we embrace authenticity, own our worth, and build unshakable confidence. I'm your host, Sierra Renee, so let's dive in. What's up, you guys, and welcome to the Pretty Confident Podcast. Welcome or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in and giving me the opportunity to show you what I discuss on this platform. And if you are a returning listener or an OG, thank you so much for coming back. I love you guys so much. And if you are new here, hopefully you can become a returning listener and then eventually an OG. There are levels to this, okay? But no, thank you so much for tuning in, just being here. If you all hear any lullaby music, my baby girl is in the back in her little swing rocker, whatever you want to call it, and it has like little lullabies. Now, some of these lullabies, I'm like, oh, that sounds like Beethoven. But if you can hear it, I don't know if you'll be able to, but if you can hear it, my girl is in the back and she is doing her thing. Let me see what she's doing. Arm just sprawled out. She is just so cute. It's my little scrumption. Yes, you guys, we are here after pregnancy. Like, this is not the first video, but it is one of many that I've recorded since the birth of my child, and I did so amazing. So I like to tell myself, because I recorded a month and then some, okay, in advance, and I had the most perfect break after I gave birth. I didn't have any thought of having to rush back to the platform. Now, I honestly did not take a break from the platform. Like, after those scheduled videos went out, after the scheduled audios went out, I was ready to hop back into it. And so, I'm here, I'm steady pushing and moving through now. Okay, let me go ahead and stop myself right there. How are you all doing? How are you guys doing? You guys know I love to start off with that question. I did me a little lip combo today. I'm gonna put on some lip gloss on here because it's like, the no lip gloss is serving, but I just feel like when you have lip gloss on, it just elevates the look. And it's been a long while since I've done my like berry and black lip combo. And so she has made an appearance today. So if you're watching this, get into it. Juvia's Place and NYX and Alien, I think it's called. Yeah, NYX Alien. So that's black. And then this is Juvia's Place Scorpio for the berry. And then I just got, some whatever lip gloss in the middle. This one is by Huda Beauty. But yeah, anyway, this is not a makeup video. This is the podcast. But I know I have some girls in here somewhere. So, I'm just making sure I do my big one for the girls that want to know. Okay. But yeah, how are you guys doing today? I am doing, I feel like a lot better. And honestly, every day is different for me. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and hop into this video, the topic, because this is basically what this video is going to be about. So I'm just segueing into postpartum, mental health, all of the things. Okay. It has been a journey. At this point of which I'm recording, it's July 6th. So this should come out like a following week after that. But you guys, it has been a wild ride. Like, I'm so glad I didn't have to go right back to work, or I'm glad I got 16 weeks paid of maternity leave, because this postpartum, like, don't get me wrong, I can compartmentalize because I'm I think I'm a pro at it sometimes. Like, sometimes if it's just too much, stuff starts to blend in. And what I mean by that is dealing with things in its, in its own area and not taking it into other areas of my life. So say I got stuff going on at home, I don't want to bring that at work. Say I got stuff going on at work, I typically do not ever bring that stuff at home unless I'm just telling my husband, the jizz, the tea, okay, from work. But anyway, I try to compartmentalize the best I can, but I don't know if I could say with, everything on my heart that I would have been able to compartmentalize with postpartum, being a new mom, and having to deal with customers and, just job related stuff. So I'm so glad I get these 16 weeks, because yes, I'm doing, so it's hard some days, and I do want to, emphasize that it is hard. I feel like some people may think, oh, I'm not going to have postpartum depression. I'm not going to have postpartum depression. I slightly believe that I would, but also I didn't think I'd have it severely. And I don't think I have it severely. There's just some days that are harder than others. And when I tell you that, please understand, it is hard. And it's like a multitude of things. Like, if somebody asks you like, oh, well, what can you say is hard about it? I may not be able to even put it into words because there's so many different things going on and so many different things bouncing around in my head, and I'm a type A girl. So it's just like my mind is continuously going. My mind is continuously bouncing around. And if something is wrong or if something isn't done, it can inevitably affect my whole entire, like the whole entire thing. My whole entire day, my whole entire mood. It could blend into other things that I'm thinking about, all of the things. And so it's so hard to pinpoint just one thing, okay? And so I just want to say postpartum is real. Postpartum is hard. Like I said in another episode, postpartum, I believe they say, can last up to 7 years. And say that you have another child within that 7 years, that clock is going to reset. But now it may be a little bit more harder because now you're dealing with postpartum for your first kid, being pregnant, going through all of that, and then giving birth to another kid, and then having postpartum of your second kid while dealing with your, not dealing, but caring for your first child as well. I try to be very cognitive of my words because different words have different meanings, connotations, all of the things. And one thing I know with her is I want to make sure I am doing the best I can to use words in a positive way instead of using negative words. So like the other day, like I know I'm veering off, but the other day I said like she was being nosy because she loves to keep her head up and look around at things. I was like, oh, she's just being nosy. No, that's not some may think it's nosy, but in better words, to make sure I'm giving her positive affirmation, she's very inquisitive. She's very curious. She's very, trying to figure out what's going on around her. She's a baby. So I try to very much watch my words because how you use them in a sentence can be very detrimental and demeaning, or it could be uplifting and positive affirmation. Okay. So she's very inquisitive. She's very curious about things going on around her. I want her to keep that about herself. And I just want to say she is doing so good. She's back there babbling and stuff like that. I think I don't even know what she's laughing at right now, but she's just so cute and so amazing. She's kicking her blanket off at this moment, but that's okay. It is what it is. But anyway, yes. Postpartum. Okay, very hard. I don't know like how I want to take this episode. Like I know I said in a previous episode that men and women can both experience postpartum. Some men, because let me not say that a man's girl or wife or whatever gave birth to their child and now he's just just so beyond himself he can't fathom anything. I feel like it's worse for women, but if a man loves his wife or girl or whatever, their postpartum that I know of, that I've seen, kind of factors or revolves around the fact that they don't know how to help their wife or their girlfriend or their, whatever situation, whatever. They don't know how to help the female that they're with. And so I think that has been true for my husband, but I'm going to be, a little bit transparent with y'all. I have not, I don't know. I really don't know how I want to take this. Like, I want to be vulnerable and transparent, but also, that doesn't mean giving a lot of access. But yeah, I have been crying. I'll just go ahead and say it. Postpartum, you don't know what it looks like for you until you're going through it. And for me, I've already seen how my husband reacts when, things aren't going well in my head, I think he tries to fix it. And I just feel like there's no true fix. Like, you can talk about it all you want. You can, dissect it. But to me, it's just like, will it really help if I talk about this with you? Will it really help? And just knowing how he is when he can't fix something, he gets into, a spiral. And so it's just like, do I really want to put that burden on you? Right. And I feel like most of the time we need to realize that not everything we can fix. Some things are not going to be able to be fixed just by talking about it. And that's true. That's real. Like, I'm not saying don't speak up whatsoever. You assess you and your situation and move accordingly. But for me, I just feel like, for me specifically, if it cannot be fixed, I'm not going to talk about it outwardly to other people, because I feel like then you're just casting your worries and whatever you have going on onto other people. If they cannot handle it, that is something that now you're burdening them with, which, to be fair, that is my husband, so I should be able to burden him with anything. But to what end, right? Like, I don't want to mess up somebody else's day when I'm already, I want somebody to have a good day, even if I'm not having one. So yeah, but honestly, like, ever since I've seen him be in the dumps about something we were going, the breastfeeding versus formula feeding. A happy baby is a fed baby, okay? So no matter if it comes out of bottle, no matter if it comes out of your breast, you decide which one you want to do. Now, I was very big on breastfeeding. Yes, it is free, but in what sense is it free? It's free from you spending your money on it, but it takes time out of your day. She's starting to get worked up, so let me grab her real quick. Okay, y'all, so she just wanted to be picked up. That's perfectly fine. Anytime my girl, gets upset, I've already told y'all before, I do not believe in letting the baby cry it out. If my baby is crying, best believe I'm picking her tail up, because she doesn't know how to regulate her emotions. And so she's been inside mommy for 9 months. That is her regulation. So I pick her up. I take her away from people. It is okay. It is all right. This is my baby. Honestly, give people a little bit of a, opportunity to see if they can calm her down themselves. And if they can, keep her. But if they can't and she gets worked up a little bit more, they already know, just go ahead and hand her over. So right now, I know she's sleepy. That's most of the things. She's already eaten. Her dad changed her diaper this morning. And so we watched a little TV, and I was like, you know what? This is the perfect time to go ahead and record some episodes while she's in that state of, okay, I just ate, so I'm fulfilled, and maybe I'm sleepy. I don't know if I am. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back into the topic. I don't even know where I was, but I'm just going to start at where I think I was. But, ever since the whole breastfeeding thing, I think that's where I was. Ever since the whole breastfeeding thing, he got down in the dumps because, I'm over here overthinking, how can I make sure I'm supplying enough for my baby? Yes, there are things that I can do, but honestly, it's, everybody's body is different. You can do everything in the world and your body will not, produce enough that your baby needs. And so, I'm feeding. And with breastfeeding, it's best for the baby to be on the nipple. And at first I didn't know how I felt about that, but it is so important. I've gotten over that, but I'm not over the fact that I don't want other people watching me do it. Like, obviously my husband, perfectly fine, but everybody else, I'm like, no, please don't, please don't lock. But yeah, I got over the fact that, she's going to be on the nipple. That's perfectly fine. You want her to be on the nipple, because that's the way the body signifies that, oh, there's a baby that I need to feed. And the milk does not come in until after you've given birth and the placenta and everything is delivered. That is the signal that your body takes as, okay, we have somebody that's now on the outside of our body instead of on the inside. And now we need to supply nutrients for them in some way. And so breastfeeding, but yeah, like I said, breastfeeding is free in the sense of it doesn't cost you any money to do so, but for a woman's body it is very taxing. It is very taxing because it is so much time and energy that is being literally sucked from you. Like, I think at one point, like, in the sense of wanting to make sure you're doing enough for your baby, you don't know if you are or not, because they could feed for an hour, literally an hour, be down and done with, nipple for maybe an hour and be right back to hungry. Or they cluster feed and it's like every 10 to 30 minutes that they want to get back on the nipple, get back. And to me, I was like, I don't know if I'm producing enough for her. Obviously you cannot see how much you're producing, and it's just, so I don't know, it's just very like mine. Like, it's a tug of war in the mind, because it's like, okay, am I doing enough? Am I producing enough for my baby? Should I go ahead and do formula? Because at that point I know how much my baby is getting. It's just a lot of things. And I am somebody, I need not a quick fix, but I need a solution. Like, if I'm going to constantly have a mental warfare in my mind about, am I producing enough or not? I cannot see how much I'm producing. Like, yes, you can pump, but at the end of the day, the pump is supposed to, or what the pump is a replacement for your baby. And that is in the sense of when you're out at work, out and about, and you can't breastfeed right then and there, or your, upper half is engorged. I know I may have some men watching, so I'm gonna, kind of frame my words so that they don't feel uncomfortable, just in case they are watching for, whatever purposes. But yeah, in case like your boobs are engorged and you need to pump, the pump is there if your baby is not. And so I've kind of moved away from pumping, because I'm like, the only way that the pump is going to get the milk is if you can kind of trick your mind to, this is my baby that's currently feeding on my nipple, and the pump is not that. So the baby is the most efficient way to get all of the milk out. And so I just didn't know if I was, doing enough for her. I didn't know if I was feeding her enough. I didn't know if she was getting enough when I was feeding her. I just felt like my time, like the days go by so quick, because I was like, oh my goodness, like, okay, I'm feeding her for an hour on one boob, and then, I put her down for maybe 15 minutes, and then she's screaming like she's hungry again if I've gone through my checklist and she doesn't need a diaper, she's not gassy or anything like that. So it's just like, it's free in the sense of you don't have to spend your money on it, but a woman's body, that is the most taxed thing. Like, you're going to completely lose yourself if you think that I have to be like, literally my baby is connected to me like 12 hours or even more out of the day. And it was just so, like, I don't know if she's getting enough, and you just want to make sure that the baby is fed, neutralized, not neutralized, but they're getting the nutrients that they need, all of the things. And so I just didn't know if that was true in my case. With this being my first baby, I don't know all of the ropes, and this was something that I was just very concerned about, because you want to make sure you can provide for your baby. You want to make sure you can, just nurse your baby. And so it was just very hard. And so, we went into the whole combo feeding, which is what we're doing now. And it just works perfectly for me, for him, because if I'm not feeding baby, somebody else can. She doesn't have to be connected straight to me. She could take a bottle with formula. And that's the other thing. I know a lot of people, I know I'm very prideful on what I do and doing what I say I was going to do. But things change, plans change. And that's one thing that I was very cognitive of going into this whole postpartum stuff and giving birth. Like, I looked at all my options. I'm like, okay, this is the plan that I'm going to set out for myself. But, oh, sorry, baby, I just poked my little girl. This is the plan that I'm setting out for myself. But in the case, okay, in the instance that this does not pan out, what is going to be my backup plan? And I've heard people say, oh, well, if you have a backup plan, that means that you didn't really believe in the plan that you set up at first. Not the case. I feel like we should all have backup plans in case what we want does not pan out the way we want it to pan out. That's not saying that, okay, my plan A is not going to work, let me go ahead and create a plan B, C, D, E, F. No, that is just being prepared in case something doesn't work out the way you want it to work out. And let's be honest, that is how most things in our life goes. If we set all of our eggs in one basket and something does not pan out, if we did not think about the reality of something not panning out and didn't create a fallback plan, we are going to be left with nothing unless something comes along and just somehow works out for us with us not having a plan for it. Okay, so that was the whole thing with the whole breastfeeding. Now, that was something that I felt like after birth was the biggest thing that was mentally draining for me. It's the whole breastfeeding formula thing. And to honestly say that when we started combo feeding, my husband and I, conjured up a plan on how we were going to do all of these things. It honestly gave me so much freedom and had my mind relaxed so much. It was just amazing. Now, I will say I still am experiencing postpartum. I don't want to say depression, because I feel like depression is a state that, is a little bit harder to come back from. I just want to say my mental ebbs and flows every single day, ebbs and flows. And, every single day, multiple times a day. I may be good at the beginning of the day and just terrible, feeling bad at the end of the day or in the middle of the day, whatever. But I honestly feel like, talking about just me, okay, I honestly feel like I am honestly in a state of grief. And I told you all this before, like before I even gave birth. I knew that there was going to be a period of grieving your old life of what you knew before and what you were able to do before. I am not able to just get up and go anywhere. I have to plan out how I'm going to do things. We went to go get her passport, mailed off, like her passport picture taken, an application to get her a passport. But not everybody can see or understand the effort that it takes behind getting yourself ready and then getting a newborn ready to head out the door. Okay, like I used to be able to get up an hour, 30 minutes before I have to leave to go somewhere and just throw myself together, do whatever I need to do, and then head out the door. That is not the case with a newborn. You have to prepare for the things that your newborn needs, for you to be able to get out, not even newborn, for your child, because there are going to be different stages, newborn, toddler, kid. There are going to be stages at which you still have to get up and prepare hours before. And honestly, as a woman who that likes to prepare and be on top of her things, that preparing starts a day, the night before anything has to happen, because now I have to plan out, okay, at what time am I going to wake up and get myself ready? At what time am I going to wake the baby up or the kid up and get them ready? At what time, if something happens, do I have enough time to take a step, like take a pause, take a breather, and have to do anything that needs to be done in the interim that my plan doesn't go as smoothly as I need it to go? And that comes with knowing your child's routine. Okay, now when we went to go get her go to the appointment and get her passport and everything, I literally, like, the appointment was at 8:30. It was about an hour drive away. Her appointment was at 8:30 in the morning. I said, okay, thinking about things, I need to get myself ready first, okay? Because don't give yourself time to get the baby ready. You still have to think about you. That is also another thing that I have been putting myself on the back burner so many times when it comes to eating and using the bathroom. Like, I will not eat. I will not get up and go to the bathroom if little mama needs me. Like, if I put her down and she start crying, okay, I need to go get her. Like, I don't need to eat at this point. Like, it is almost, I don't even know what time it is right now, and I have not eaten yet. But I can tell you one thing, my baby has eaten from little righty over here, and she's taking a bottle. So I've not eaten yet. And to me, like, I just suppress that and then keep on moving. And when I do have the opportunity, I eat. When I do get the chance, I eat. I go to the bathroom. When I get her down, I try to do everything I can when I get her down, so that when she's up, there's nothing for me to worry about. And that's just how I operate. Other people will say, with the newborn, either I'm going to be put together, the baby going to be put together, or the house going to be put together, but not all three at the same time. To me, my space is my sanctuary. I've told you all that before in previous episodes. My space is my sanctuary. And so if my space is a mess, mentally, I'm a mess. Emotionally, I'm a mess, because my space is not going to exude. Like, my space is literally a reflection of where I am mentally and emotionally. So if my space is clean, more than likely my head space is going to be a little bit more tidy, and my emotional standpoint, stance is a little bit better. But if everything is fucked up, you can best believe I am upset everywhere, mind, emotional, everywhere. Okay, but anyway, getting her ready, or getting up the day of her passport appointment, I literally woke up at 5:30. I had two alarms set, 5 o'clock and 5:30. Okay, 5 o'clock for if she was a little bit fussier throughout the night, I can wake up and give myself a little bit more time to make sure, okay, if she's a little bit more fussy when she wakes up, I know what I need to do. I got a little bit more time to, do whatever she needs before we run out the door. Not saying that nothing is going to happen before we run out the door or when we run out the door. Not saying nothing is going to push us back. But as much as I can plan, remember, you can only control what is in your control. You cannot control things that are inevitable, or just things that happen, because if it is within your control, try to control that first before trying to manhandle everything else that is outside of your control. Babies are going to cry. If she is fussing and crying when we go out the door, we just gonna go out the door fussing and crying. Okay, we gonna cry together, we gonna fuss together. But we getting out that door. You cannot control everything. So I do what is within my reasonable field of control. So what can I do? Try to plan ahead for things that I know need to happen. So I woke up at 5:30. I got myself ready. I did, my whole skin routine. I do my skin routine every morning or at some point during the day. Skin routine, lashes, wig. Okay, I'm good. Brush my teeth, whatever. Got dressed, whatever. Okay. She was still sleeping good at this point. So now at like 6:30, 6:45, okay, I gotta wake her dad up because her dad went to sleep 2 hours ago. He, for whatever reason, cannot sleep. That's a whole nother insomnia. We just gonna chalk it up to that. Whatever. Wake him up. He is responsible for getting himself ready. I already have a child. I don't need two, okay? I don't have to. If I had to, I'd be taking care of two. I don't have a second child, so I'm gonna wake him up. He gonna go do whatever he needs to do. I don't need to be there for that. But waking little mama up, changing her diaper, moisturizing her down. She hates getting moisturized most days because how your grandma used to, come here, boy, come here, girl, and just smack your face and rub this stuff all over you. That's literally me with her. So she hates that. I don't smack her face, but like I gently, moisturize her face. She doesn't like getting her hair combed and, oh well, got your hair combed. You got on your little cute outfit. Plunge your nose, okay? Because she be having boogers stuck back there. They got small airways. They can't get it. So plunge your nose, put socks and a headband on you or a bow on you. Cool. Feed you, burp you, change your diaper if you need another diaper change before we leave. And now we're good to go. And honestly, everything went so smoothly. Like then my mom came and got in the car and we went on ahead. And then when I told her what time I got up, she was like, why did you get up that early? Ma'am, you didn't have 4 kids. Did you not ever have to do this with us? I don't know. Everybody is different, but I know for mine, I want to make sure she is a perfect baby. Like, don't get me wrong. She is not hard to deal with, or let me stop saying deal with. She is not hard to take care of by any means to my standard of what I had an expectation of a newborn and, just how she is. But she is the happiest when she is changed, when she is fed, when she is burped, and she's just, a calm, collected baby. So I knew for us to have a smooth ride, for us to have a good day, start of the day, is to make sure all of her needs are met. Like my mom says, like, oh, she's not the boss. Tell her she's not the she's the boss in this house, because whatever baby needs, baby gets, okay? My baby will get. Like right now, she's nodding off. So sorry if you see me walking back and forth, making sure I soothe my baby. But anyway, whatever this one needs, she's gonna get. Like she wanted out of the car seat, get my baby out that car seat, okay? Her baby's her dad sat in the back with her, but she did so good at her passport appointment. She did not cry, not once. Now she did make it to sleep because I did have to wake her up twice, so she was cranky because of that, so she was crying on the ride there. But other than that, she did so well at her passport appointment. We did put her down because she had to take her picture, and girl, man, she woke up with a white lady with a camera in her face, and she was not happy. She was mean mugging. So I did get the lady did take a picture because she's like snapping pictures to, take her. And I didn't know like the baby can be asleep in their passport picture, but she woke up. So it is what it is. But she did so well. After her pictures, I picked her back up, and my mom paid, and we headed right on out. Headed right on out. So my baby is the happiest when she is fed and all of the things before I overstimulate her. Like I can only imagine you waking up and now you're in a completely different place than where you went to sleep. Like, yes, they don't know it, but they can feel. So, it's just like I am the sole provider for not the sole, but the primary. I feel like that is the other thing of which postpartum has taken a toll on me, is having to be, I don't know if I will say having to be okay with the fact that I'm the primary provider, because I don't know, I do want her dad to do a little bit more, but I feel like baby wants mom 24/7. So it's just like, how much can dad do if baby wants mom? Now, when I start going back to work and he's at home with the baby, there's not going to be anything I can do. Because I'm at work. I'm not going to leave work just because my baby wants me if her dad, who is perfectly capable of taking care of her, is home with her. So that is going to be, it's just learning the baby and getting acclimated to the differences in your life from what it was before versus what it is now, and even your weeks. As the baby grows up, month to month, your baby is going to change. And so it's just slowly progressing with your baby and getting acclimated to what they need and what their new routine is. So that is the number one thing that I feel like my postpartum mental state is kind of like ebbing and flowing for me in, is the fact that my baby needs something different now than what it was before. And now that I know her a lot more, it's easier. But let me tell you this, it is not easy when your priorities, I have an episode on this, when your priorities from your partner differs, okay? Because the differences in those priorities are going to make and break your mental. And I just feel like I am somebody, like, I'm not gonna give y'all too much about what's going on in my relationship. Just know that each relationship has its ups and downs, and this part can be really hard if you're not mentally sound and emotionally intelligent about what's going on. It could really hurt your relationship. But even if you are emotionally and mentally intelligent of what's going on and aware of what's going on with you personally, it could still make or break your relationship. Because right now, I just feel like I am in that breaking point where it's just like my priorities still stand. And it's just like there's some things that we've already talked about. And I'm somebody, I don't like repeating myself. If I've already told you once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times about something and it has still not changed, or you change it in a second and then you revert back to the person, like the actions or the non-actions that I already had a problem with that we already discussed, if you revert back to that, I'm not going to keep on repeating myself. And I feel like that is the circle that I'm in right now, or the cycle that I'm in. It's just like, okay, should I say something? You should absolutely want to say something to your partner if it is going to assist you in your relationship. But to what end? Because I've already had this discussion multiple times. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. So if I have to keep repeating myself about something and it just keeps coming back up, okay, I'm going to be upset. But I'm upset at, one, the fact that I already told you about this and it hasn't changed, and 2, the fact that I have to continue, like, this is something that now I have to take on because it is something that you're not changing. And we've already talked about expectations and all of the things. So my expectation is that not everybody is going to do what you need and want them to do. Are you going to be able to live with that? Right now, I'm going to have to be able to live with that. I may not do what I need to do or what I want to do right then and there when I see it needs to be done. But I'm not anybody's mom. I'm not going to continuously call you downstairs or text you to come do this or text you to do that. If I'm going to give you an opportunity to pick up, I'm not going to say the slack, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to do something of your own free will the first time. If I see that that is not a priority that you have, or see that that is something that, oh, maybe she's going to need this done, or, oh, I'm going to go ahead and do this so that way she doesn't have to. If I see you're not doing that, I'm not going to force you to think like that. We have been in a relationship for how many years? I'm not going to push this on you. Honestly, we've already had this conversation. Clearly, it's not sticking. So things that don't stick means that it's not important to you. So if the things that I'm saying are not sticking, it's not important. Clearly, I'm not going to beat it into your head, because honestly, that's just me exerting more energy than I really need to. And the energy that I'm exerting over something that I can truly do when I get the time. Because honestly, my time, my day, I feel like some more things that I feel like maybe giving y'all too much insight. But honestly, my relationship is good. I just feel like my life has changed and his has not. And I can kind of tear up by saying that, because there's a lot of things that I keep in my head, and I don't want to tear up, because it is so hard for women. Okay, it is so hard. And I feel like men will never understand. And that's the other reason why I don't really say stuff. That's the other reason why, like, most women, we're masculine because we have to be. We take so much on. And I feel like just men will just never truly understand. No matter how many times you explain something to them, no matter how many times you point something out to them, they will never truly really understand because they're not going through it. And how can you make somebody understand if that is not something that they are living in and of themselves, right? And so I feel like my life has completely changed. My day-to-day does not look anything remotely what it used to look like before my baby. And I'm not saying by any means that I regret, having a baby whatsoever. I decided to have a baby. Most people don't get to decide. They just end up finding out, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby. Depending on the state, if they allow abortions, okay? But my day-to-day is solely taking care of my baby. And in little spurts when I can take care of myself, that is when I tend to myself, is when I can. If the chance never arises for me to care for myself, I do not give myself self-care. And you guys know I am hell-bent. I scream self-care, the importance of self-care. But when you cannot do that with having a child, you do not feel like yourself. There have been so many days I have not felt like myself. There have been so many times I'm like, okay, if I did not have her, then I would be doing X, I would be doing Y. But I love her so much, and I do not regret my decision whatsoever. She is a beautiful, blessed, and I'm so grateful to have her. She is so perfect to me. It could be 1,000 times worse for me, and I know that. But it's just at the end of the day, my life does not look like anything my life used to look like. And that just means that I am grieving. That is why I think the tears came on, because I am truly understanding the reality and understanding the fact that I am grieving my old life, because I do not get to do things where I put me first. I do not get to do that anymore. I have to put my baby first, and then right after my baby is me. So I do not have enough energy. I do not have enough anything to really kind of, I can see where, some relationships fail because I don't have the energy to put in to the relationship if there are things that the relationship rides on me for. And I and my husband have our individuality. I am so grateful for that, because when he goes and plays his game, yes, I am frustrated because there are things that I may need to do and he's out, he's doing whatever he wants to do. But when it comes down to it, my husband gets to pick and choose when he comes down and talks to us, or, communicates with her, or take her a little bit. Because if I don't have her, then, she's down for a nap. And then there's a lot of things. There's 1,000,001 things that goes on in my head. There's the thing where people say, oh, sleep whenever the baby sleep. No, you have to still cook. You have to still clean. You have to still shower yourself. You still have to eat. There's still things that you have to do for yourself that you can't do while the baby may be up. And if you can, great. But you can't always just sleep when the baby sleeps. The reality of it is put whatever you need to put first while the baby is sleeping. To me, that is, what does the house need? Okay, what does the house need that I can do while she is sleeping? Dishes, washing her bottles, doing laundry, cleaning this, cleaning that. What does the house need? Because that is the number one thing to me, okay? I will sleep whenever I can. But what does the house need? Because like I said, my space is my sanctuary. That may not be the same thing for you. That may not be the same thing for you. You could be care one less, your house could be the last of your concern when it comes to your emotional and mental states while the baby is sleeping. If you need rest, rest. I will say there have been times I have been so sleepy that I will put the house on the back burner, but my space is my sanctuary. I need the things around me, my immediate surrounding, to be clean in order for me to not worry about it. Or if I decide to sleep, okay, Sierra, what are you going to do, or what can you do while she's awake to make sure you're good? Okay, so those are the things that I think about. I am grieving my old life. There are things that I cannot do right then and there, that I have to wait on, and that is perfectly fine. I will do anything that my baby needs me to do, but I just want women and men alike, if you are watching this, to understand that the woman's life changes dramatically. I don't care how much postpartum both men and women go through. I just want everybody to understand. I feel as though the woman's life dramatically changes and the men's life looks the same. And it is just so hard as the female in that predicament to be like, oh, I have to give up and I have to sacrifice this, that, and the third after just sacrificing my body for 9 months and then putting my body through the most crucial pain that it will ever experience while giving birth. And now having to deal with these emotional and mental fluctuations day to day, the same, like multiple times within one day. It is so hard. Our bodies, our minds, everything changes for the woman. And men will not truly understand because they are not having to live through it. Men, I feel like, truly have to live through something in order for them to grasp the full understanding. Okay, I truly feel like that. It doesn't matter how many times you explain. And that's why I feel like talking, for me, when things are going on in my head, talking, he cannot fix it. He cannot fix it, and he will never truly understand what is going on in my mind if I'm even just talking about it. So what is the point? Maybe I need therapy. If you are feeling the same things, maybe you need therapy. Us women need therapy. Sometimes nothing has to be wrong for us to need therapy. I cry when I'm alone, even when I'm with her, but I try to make sure she doesn't see me cry, because even though she may not remember it, I want my baby to be happy. I don't want to cry with her looking at me. So I can control my emotions until she's sleeping, and then I cry. It is just so hard. It is hard to be somebody that is so headstrong. I am so sorry. It is hard to be somebody that's so headstrong, so independent, so self-sufficient. And now you're having to be self-sufficient while also taking care of somebody else. Even if you have a husband or a man in the house or not, I understand what it is like to be a single mother. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. I completely understand. Because it's like, what the hell? Like, excuse my language, but honestly, WTF, WTH. It is so hard. And it's just like, I understand in some instances, my husband makes it easier for us, but 9 times out of 10, it is still hard. It is still hard. So, single women out there, single moms out there, whether you're a single mom and you are in a relationship, or you're a single mom and you're you truly don't have, a man in your life to help you out. It is hard. Regardless of the fact, it is hard. And if you can wait to have kids, please wait. If you end up not wanting to have kids, I do not blame you, because sometimes I get into the headspace that, oh my goodness, like, what if I didn't do this? What if I didn't get dogs? What if I didn't, care about a relationship and having a boyfriend and a husband and all of the, what if I didn't care about all of these things? What would my life look like now? I'm not saying that I regret anything by any means. I am not saying that I regret my life, those choices that I made. I'm not saying by any means that I'm regretting anything. It's just things, there was a time that was easier compared to this. And, when she grows up, it'll get easier over time. I just know it. It's just the fact that I am present in this current time of where my baby is and where my relationship and where I am now. And then tack on the fact that I'm trying to change my career, like all of the things. It is just so hard on a woman. It is so hard. And I don't want anybody to feel sorry for anybody. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. Like I said, I chose these things. I chose, to have a child. We chose to get pregnant. I chose to get dogs. I chose to be in a relationship. At any point, you can walk away from the things that you don't want. But I am going to show up every day, every single day, If I cannot show up for myself, I know damn sure I'm going to show up for my child. And that is through anything. That is with anything. I do not want her to see me cry this early. Like, honestly, I've already set this in like a TikTok that I've done. I am going to show my child the ups and downs of life. But when she is awake and she is looking at me, she is looking up to me. She is looking at me. And that means I am somebody that she is going to look up to and look at for the rest of her life. So I feel the weight of that, and I carry that with me every second of the day, every second of my life. So, like I said, I do not regret anything. I do not regret her. I just saying that there is easier times. Please understand. You have to do inventory of your own life. I honestly did not do much before her. So I was like, I am perfectly okay with bringing a baby into the life that I'm living because I don't do much already. Now, there are going to be things that I want to do with her that I may not be comfortable with for myself, but I know I need to get her out there and get her, acquainted with different things and new things. I don't want her to be a sheltered kid. So there's going to be things that I have to get out of my comfort zone to make sure I'm giving her a different life experience. But at the end of the day, if you are not prepared for a kid, this is going to be extremely harder. I can only imagine how much harder it would be for somebody that did not plan to have a kid, does not have help, I can understand how much harder it is. And just back to the other point that I was trying to make that I veered off on another topic about is I'm so self-sufficient. I am so independent that it is hard for me to ask for help. So I have not talked about this out loud with anybody. And I know there are some people that know me in real life that watch this, that listen to this, where it's going to be like, oh snap, like now they know. But it's just like, I don't mind. Like, it gives them a little bit more room to understand me more. Like, it's hard to, want to talk to somebody and not be able to because I am the first one of my siblings, of my uncles and cousins' kids to have a baby. And so it's just like, sometimes you want to talk about this with your sibling, but you can't because they will not truly understand. So it's just like, am I by myself? Because everybody around you wants to love on you and support you, but there are going to be some people that truly won't understand until they live through it themselves. And so you don't want to burst that bubble for them. But it's so hard. It is so hard because it's like you want to, you can talk to me. I'm here for you. I'll check in on you. It is so hard. Okay. But yeah, it is so hard. Postpartum is hard. The weight that a woman has to carry is so hard. It really, I feel like once you give birth, it really truly gives you a different perspective on what, the women in your life before you kind of went through. Because I told my mom just the other day, I don't know how you did this 4 times. 4 times. Okay, I don't know how you did this. And on the first time, I don't know how you did it with twins. I don't know. I think about it now. If I had twins right now, y'all would not be seeing me until them suckers maybe turned 1. I wanted twins so bad, but I'm glad I did not have them. I am so glad I did not have them. Oh my goodness. Because it's so hard, for your first time twins, and then all of the things, just knowing not even half of the things that my mom probably had to go through. It's you can think so much that you had an idea, you had, you knew what somebody else went through, but until you go through something life altering as this, you truly don't know the half of what somebody had to go through before you. Just thinking oh, my mom had twins her first time at a young age, divorced from my biological father. Years later getting remarried. You think you know what people want you to know. You do not know the half of what they felt or what they went through. You may not even know a fraction of what happened and what transpired and how they felt and how it changed them. So, postpartum is hard. Okay, that is the gist of this episode. Postpartum is hard. And it doesn't matter how many times somebody messages you and checks in on you. I know how to put on a front. If you text me and ask me how am I doing, I'm going to tell you good, because I'm not going to show you this side. I'm not going to, because it's just like, will it honestly change anything? And if I feel like it won't, I'm not going to tell you the honest truth. If I feel like you won't truly get it, I'm not going to tell you the honest truth. If I feel like talking about it won't help, I'm not going to talk about it. Now, for these purposes, the reason I'm talking about it on video, yes, this is therapy for me because I'm giving it to myself. But honestly, the reason I talk about it on video is because I feel compelled to, so that way other people out there, if they feel the same way, they can resonate. You can talk about it here. This is for educational purposes. This is for other people to take from and learn and experience and try to get, if you could peek in through a window on how something is going for somebody else that you may want for yourself. I am that window for you. So, yes, I've cried. Yes, I say that this is my first time talking about it out loud, but this is not the first time that I've talked about it with myself. And so more emotions come out when you talk about it, because you can hear yourself talk about it. And I've told you guys before, I listen and watch my episodes back before I post it and after I post it. So I know when I listen back and edit all of these videos together and this out, I know I'm going to cry, because now not only am I outwardly talking about it, but I'm going to be able to see the emotions on my face. I'm going to be able to hear myself talk about it. And that is the other thing that is so hard about podcasting, because I am an honest person to my core. I am a genuine person to my core. And so what I put out there, I know I genuinely felt okay to put out there. Now, sometimes I say I don't talk about these things out loud, but majority of the times when I do talk about it out loud on the platform, that gives me the courage and motivation to talk out loud about it with somebody close to me. So maybe this is a good thing, because if I had not done this podcast episode now, I don't know if I'd have the courage and motivation to maybe talk about this with my husband, right? Maybe talk about this, maybe actually ask my mom if we could sit down and have a conversation. So we'll see. We'll see. And if you are my twin sister listening to this, if you are my twin sister's boyfriend, soon to be fiance listening to this, I love y'all. Okay. You do not have to, be upset, cry about it yourself, because I feel like my twin sister, when she listens and watches this back, or not even back, because when she listens to this, it'll be her first time listening. But I know when she listens to this, she'll get emotional herself. And so I get emotional about that too, because me and my twin sister, we have a connection like no other. Oh, we have a connection like no other. So when she's sad, I'm sad. When I think about something that'll make her sad, I'm sad. And I know this episode will make her sad. But I am trying to get over... I'm not trying to get over the strong profile, because honestly, I'm putting this out, and as I keep talking about it, I honestly keep doubting the fact that I'm going to put this out. But I'm trying to be strong for myself and have the courage and confidence within myself to still post this, no matter how many times I'm tearing up. But I feel like in postpartum, there's so many things you question. There's so many things you question. Like having another kid. Like that has been on my mind a lot lately. Having another child. My pregnancy was perfect. Labor and delivery was perfect. Postpartum is hard. So I cannot imagine having another pregnancy, having another labor and delivery. Because as much as postpartum is hard, every pregnancy is different. As perfect as this pregnancy was, as pregnancy as this labor and delivery was, Every pregnancy is different. And so maybe the next one may be harder. Maybe the next one will be tougher than what I just experienced. And so to tack that possibility on with the fact that postpartum is hard, in which each pregnancy, with each delivery, with each birth, the woman's body, the woman's mind changes that cannot revert back. It is damning to think about. And so if you're not somebody that thinks about all of these things, just take it for my word. Take my word for it that it is going to be hard. I don't know how much preparation that one may think that they can do for the sense of their mental fortitude to be. It is going to be hard. I feel like this for every woman, because especially if you're a first time mom, at some point, all of us are first. Like, we have to have first in order to get to the, oh, we've done this before. Oh, no, all of us have to have it in order for it to, in order for us to get to the, oh, this isn't my first time. A first has to occur. So it is hard. I will regulate my emotions. I am surprised I cried this much on camera, but I am not going to edit it out. I am going to have confidence within myself that I can talk about this and be transparent and still put it out there for other people to experience, for other people to see, because it is not picture perfect what everybody sees on Instagram, on TikTok, it's not picture perfect. It is not. It is the furthest thing from it. And whoever is putting the perfect narrative out there, just know it is not perfect behind the scenes for them. There is something that they are going through behind the scenes that they are shielding other people from. Okay, they may even be shielding their selves from the truth, because when you run away from something, you run away from having to face the controversy, whether that's a controversial thing within you or it is something that you do not want to show other people. It is their preference. So I am not bashing other people that won't put transparent stuff out there. I'm just saying, if they're not putting the truth out there, it is for a reason. They do not want to see it. They do not want other people to see them at their lowest. They do not want to have other people see them when they're weak. I am being weak and vulnerable with you guys. That is how life goes. But this is the type of community that I want to build off transparency, off being weak. I am not somebody that is perfect. I have built this platform on making sure you guys understand that I have bad days too, that I go through life as well. And my life has different challenges in and of itself at different points and stages of my life. And so if I want to have a transparent audience, if I want to have a transparent, culture on this platform, I have to be willing to do so. And so that's what I'm doing. Okay. So I think this is the only episode I'm going to record today. There were some other ideas that I had on the docket. And you guys, I try to batch record all of the time. I try to batch record whenever I can. So I probably am not going to batch record today because I've had a lot of emotions today. Just within the hour. I think this episode is going on an hour, so I'm going to let you guys go. But yeah, I'm not going to batch record today. I'm going to, leave it at this. I did so great. I did not know what was going to come out of my mouth on this episode, and I didn't know how it was going to come out. And that is the biggest thing for me. Although I care about my boundaries and what I have to say, I'm going to say it. I care about who is on the receiving end of my message. So when I am upset, when I am angry, when I am mad, I do not express things out of anger because I know words can hurt. That elementary saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words cannot hurt me. Words hurt. The tone in how you say things hurts. So I think about the message and how I am, getting that message out. Is it going to hurt somebody that I love? And if it is, I do not say it right then and there. I'm going to wait to get my composure, wait to get everything together. And then I'm going to say it in the most effective way that I know I can say it. And I'm not going to say the most polite way, because sometimes, you got to excuse me, you got to be a little mean and rough and tough, with the people that you love in order for them to take you seriously. But if you understand that somebody already takes you serious, that may not be necessary. And so I feel like this may give me a little bit of motivation to go ahead and talk about this with my husband. And so I like when I record out in advance, because I'll be able to talk about stuff with the respective parties that I may be recording about before the episode actually airs. Because I don't want, you guys to be in the light, and, the person that decided to do life with me to be left in the dark. That's not going to be best for our situation. But yeah, postpartum is hard. The weight women carry in this life is even harder. It is the heaviest bag that I feel like we carry. And I feel like somewhere along the way, men thought they are the head of the house. Women, I don't care who you are, women are the head of any household. I am going to attest to that. I am the head of this household. Everybody in this household depends on a woman. And I feel like at the end of the day, all of us have our different love languages, but the way that a woman wants to be loved in its entirety, is not having to ask. I feel like that would be my perfect, is not having to ask, not having to ask for something, or not even not having to ask for something, but not having to give my opinion on so much. So, men, if you want to know how to help your lady, the biggest thing that you can do, the easiest thing you can do, is not having to ask her, what do you need? Now, I'm not saying the question is not valid. The question is very valid, because there are going to be some things a woman needs that a man cannot predict. Men are not mind readers. So women, do not take this and take it out of context. Men are not mind readers. There are going to be things that they have to ask. What do you need in this moment? That question opens up so many doors. Now, women, we can either lie and tell them nothing, which is majority of the times that I do. Or you can tell them what I just need a break. Most of us women need a break, but we don't get that, because when we're not tending to ourselves, we can't tend, when we're not tending to other things in the household, when we're not tending to the bed, so most of the time we don't even have that option not to tend to things in the household, or, first and foremost, our child. But it's like, when we're not tending to them, do we have enough energy to even pour into ourselves? So, yeah. Now, if you know me in real life and you watch this or listen to this, I am okay. I am okay. I am okay. There's sometimes that I'm not okay. And it is not okay not to admit that. I am going to challenge myself to be more confident in speaking up, especially about this stage in my life, because motherhood looks beautiful dressed on anybody, but what we actually go through is so hard. But it's worth it. So my baby girl is worth it. I just don't know if I'm gonna be one and done because the motto that I have, and the motto that I'm gonna raise her up on, is you can have a bad day and want to quit something. You can have a bad day and not want to do something anymore, but you cannot quit right then and there. You need to experience the same things that you are going through on your best day. And if you decide that you still don't want to do something, or you want to quit something, that is when you know that you truly don't want to do it anymore. Now, for her in sports, okay, you may not like this sport, but you told me at the beginning you wanted to do this. You're going to see it to the end. But even on your bad days, even on your worst days, or even on your best days, I'm sorry, you cannot want to do it on your worst days, but even on your best days, if you still don't want to do it, we'll pull you out at the end, but you're not going to quit halfway through. So that's the mentality that I've been trying to have, with the whole another baby thing. On my bad days, oh hell no, I don't want no other kids, because after I get out of this newborn phase, I'll be in the toddler phase. After I get out of the toddler phase, I'll be in the kid phase. After I get out of the kid phase, I'll be in the preteen phase. After I get out of the preteen phase, I'll be in the teenage phase. There are phases it doesn't, you're just trading one hard for the next. And that's just with how life is and the progression that she's going through in her life. But on my worst days, I do not want another child. On my best days, it's still been questionable on if I even want another child. And if I have another child, I don't care if it's girl or boy. I'm probably going to be, if it's a boy, I'm definitely done. But if it's another girl, I still may be done, because I'm not doing this for a third time. I'm not starting back over, because these newborn trenches must be studied. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for listening to me ramble for over an hour. I think this is the longest episode in the Pretty Confident podcast history. Thank you so much for listening through my trials. I don't have any tribulations just yet, but thank you so much for listening. And if you feel so inclined to do so, you can drop a little hearts, in the comments. And, if you want to put in an encouraging word, you can. I don't care if you don't. It's perfectly fine. But just know I'm going to be okay. And I know I'm going to be okay. And I think that's the number one thing that's getting me through. So just know that this too shall pass. It may be a few weeks, a few months, a few years that it may pass, but this too shall pass. Not past, pass. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and relax my head for the next, I don't even know how long. I think I want to record tomorrow, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm only doing one episode, and this is this episode solely today. Okay. Like, I poured my heart, soul, and then some into this episode. And I am kind of nervous that other people are going to see this and watch this and hear this. So, especially people that actually know me. That is the most mind jerking one. So, yeah. But yeah, you guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. This was a therapy session for me, so I hope it was one for you. If you needed it, if you needed somebody to, this is what I've been going through as well. I just didn't know how to say it or phrase it, or that anybody else was going through this just like me. Because once you understand that you are not alone in this world of how you're feeling, our circumstances may be different, but we are feeling the same thing. It gets a little bit easier when you know that you're not the only one going through it. So yeah. I'm going to have the confidence to post this still, even though I was crying. And I'm going to find the courage. I'm going to build up the courage and build up my confidence to discuss these things with a loved one, whether that's my husband, whether this is, my mother or my grandmother. It's important to talk to those in your life, especially the ones that have already been through it. So I think that's why I'm kind of gravitating towards, them instead of my siblings, like my sisters, because they've been through it. They've gotten through it. Why not talk to them about it? Because they may have had or experienced the same thing I did, or the same thing I am. So yeah, you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. All right. I will call y'all later. I will call y'all next week. So you better pick up. But yeah, I love you all, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Pretty Confident podcast. Remember, confidence isn't about perfection. It's about embracing who you truly are. So until next time, stay bold, stay authentic, and stay pretty confident. Peace out.